is your topic?
Should violent juveniles be tried as adults in court?
Okay, and proceed.
Now, I've heard many times throughout my life that for every action you take, there's a consequence. And whether that consequence is a good or bad thing all depends on the actions being done. And I think the same goes for the law. If you choose to ignore it and commit a crime, there should obviously be a bad consequence. Now, the definition of crime, according to Oxford Dictionary, is an action or omission that constitutes an offense that may be prosecuted by the state and is punishable by the law. Now, many people think the people that commit these crimes should be punished in different ways according to their age. If they're a minor, they should have a less harsh consequence than the adults. Well, I disagree, and I think that juveniles should be tried as adults in court, and they should have the same punishments. I think this for one of two reasons: that they need to learn to take responsibility for their actions, even if they are young. And I also don't think juveniles fear the law anymore because they know that their consequences aren't going to be that harsh. So as much as we don't like to admit our mistakes, I think it's a very important thing to do in life. And just like taking responsibility when a crime is committed is very important. Now, the people who don't think that juveniles should be tried as adults tend to think that kids don't know what they're doing. They don't have any common sense. They don't know right from wrong. And I disagree. I think they do have common sense. They know that killing is bad and stealing isn't good. They understand that. But many of the reasons, or some of the reasons that they do commit crimes as young people, according to ACS distance education, are things such as poor home conditions, mental defects, drug addiction, peer pressure, and parental influence. For example, if they have a parent who's involved in crime, they pick up on what their parent does, and they too are more likely to follow in their footsteps and get into those habits. And same goes with peer pressure. If they hang out with friends who do illegal things, they obviously are likely to follow them. Another part of taking responsibility for your actions is accepting the punishment that comes along with your wrongdoing. Now, when it comes to juveniles and court, they tend to just get a light sentence or put into rehab. And some people think the big reason why rehab works so well on young kids is because their brain isn't as fully developed as adults. So therefore, it's more likely to change and more amendable. And now this all started back in 1899, and the first juvenile justice system was put into place by Illinois. And many states shortly followed them afterwards, but the first juvenile justice system was put into place, founded off the idea that the best way to handle juveniles is rehab, rather than harsh punishments. And that's exactly why I don't think they fear the law, is because they know that their punishment is not going to be very bad. And I think that if they aren't given a harsh punishment now as kids, when they get into their adult years, those habits are going to carry over and can affect their life greatly. And obviously it's their life, their decisions, and their habits that will follow them later on. But I think if we want to see a decrease in juvenile crime rates, something needs to be done now. And I think that something is trying them as adults. Kids aren't going to be kids forever, and so they need to realize that life isn't always going to give you the easy way out of things, and that I think the juvenile justice system is exactly what that teaches. It teaches them that even if you do something bad and commit a horrible wrongdoing, there is just going to be an easy way out. And I don't think life always gives you that. So by the time they get into their adulthood and they continue about their habits, they're going to be caught off guard and going to be very unprepared for that. So kids need to realize that taking responsibility for your actions is a very big deal. And they need to learn responsibility. And they also need to learn that the law is not something to mess with, and it is something to fear. And that's why I think juveniles should be tried as adults in courts.
Thank you.